Today, we begin a deeply personal journey, a story that delves into the life of Leo, a 24-year-old aspiring digital artist. This is not merely a tale of ambition and success, but one woven with the complexities of family dynamics, emotional struggles, and the quest for self-identity. Leo, naturally quiet and observant, found himself lost in the shadows of his family's expectations, often feeling overlooked. In a household where achievements were celebrated fervently, Leo felt like the dreamer, while his older sister Maya basked in the golden glow of their mother's praise. Maya, at 28 years old, was charismatic and ambitious. She seemed to have it all figured out. Her accomplishments were often the highlight of family gatherings, but beneath that polished exterior lay deep insecurities. She craved control and validation, and as a result, her intentions towards Leo were often manipulative. This sibling dynamic was a peculiar brew of rivalry and competition, marked not by overt bullying but by an insidious undercurrent of psychological dueling. While Leo poured his heart into his art, Maya would frequently critique his aspirations, labeling them as unrealistic while subtly stealing the spotlight and occasionally claiming credit for his ideas. The family environment had been complex for Leo. Their mother, Eleanor, a retired art teacher, loved both of her children dearly, yet she could not quite mask her preference for Maya. Eleanor's gentle nature led her to excuse Maya's manipulative tendencies. Maya was viewed as the strong-willed warrior of the family, while Leo often faded into the background, his artistic spirit dimmed by the weight of comparison and unmet expectations. It was almost as if Leo's identity hung in limbo, seen only through the lens of his sister's shining achievements. In the early years of Leo's life, the absence of their father, their supportive artistic figure who had passed away when Leo was just a toddler, left a void filled only by memories of his abstract paintings. Leo clung to these remnants, finding solace in creativity that no one else seemed to notice. In a way, his father's legacy became his secret source of inspiration, a hidden strength that he would often tap into when staring at a blank canvas or screen. Yet there was one person who recognized Leo's quiet talent: Aunt Carol, his father's sister, and a tough, no-nonsense corporate lawyer. Carol was a grounding force for Leo, illuminating the qualities he struggled to see in himself. She provided not just emotional support, but also financial assistance when it came to art school. Aunt Carol never shied away from addressing the elephant in the room, the manipulative dynamics between Maya and Leo. She understood that while Maya shone in the spotlight, Leo possessed a unique brilliance that needed nurturing. As Leo grew older, he began to carve out his own identity, discovering that his artistic prowess could not simply be defined by his sister's achievements. Despite feeling like a constant underdog to Maya's highs, Leo showed promise at a local specialized digital arts academy. There, he found a community that valued creativity over competition. Amidst vibrant palettes and animated designs, he blossomed, finally feeling seen and celebrated for his talents. However, just as Leo began to thrive and establish an identity far removed from the shadow of Maya, an unsettling shift began to loom over the family. Maya, once the golden child, encountered storms in her ambitious pursuits, giving rise to a tumultuous chapter in their lives. While Leo celebrated quietly in the warm embrace of artistic achievement, he remained oblivious to the brewing storm that would soon crash into their family dynamic. This was a moment to reflect on how life can turn, and how the bonds once cherished can shift dramatically in the face of adversity. Their intertwining fates were about to take a turn that neither Leo nor Maya could have anticipated. As the story unfolds, we will witness how their paths collide, leading to a devastating betrayal and, ultimately, a journey of self-discovery for Leo. Join me as we delve deeper into their journey and witness the twists and turns that will shape their fates. As we delve deeper into the lives of Leo and Maya, we begin to witness a striking transformation. Leo, the quieter sibling, begins to carve out his own identity as an aspiring digital artist. At the age of 24, he embarks on a journey filled with passion, creativity, and an urgent need to prove himself, not just to the world but importantly to himself. After years of struggling with conventional academics, Leo enrolls in a specialized digital arts academy, a place that would ignite the flickering flame of his artistic vision. Thanks to Aunt Carol, who stood by him as a source of unwavering support, he secures financial assistance to attend this transformative program. Leo finally finds himself in an environment that nurtures his innate talents, allowing him to explore animation and graphic design. Surrounded by like-minded peers, he thrives, for the first time feeling seen and valued for his creativity. Yet just as Leo begins to experience the exhilarating highs of artistic growth, echoes of his sister's oft-dominant presence linger in the background. Maya, his older sister, does not acknowledge or celebrate Leo's accomplishments. Her absence during his graduation, a pivotal moment in his life, is painfully evident when she cites a vague business trip as the reason for her absence. This lack of support weighs heavily on Leo, reminding him of the pattern he has internalized, that his dreams may hold little value outside of Maya's glaring shadow. While Leo steps into his own light, Maya finds herself veering off course. Riding a wave of initial success in the tech industry, she launches her ambitious luxury lifestyle application. Her desire to be the best, coupled with an inflated ego and overconfidence, leads her to convince their mother, Eleanor, to co-sign a substantial loan to fund this venture. Interestingly, this time, the usually supportive Eleanor defers to Maya's vision, tired of constantly worrying so much about Leo, the dreamer. However, the glamorous facade of Maya's project quickly dissolves as the reality of poor management and a lack of market insight becomes evident. The app fails spectacularly, leaving Maya with heavy financial burdens and eroding the trust of every investor, including their mother. In the aftermath, Maya descends into a chaotic whirlwind of devastating choices. Once the embodiment of ambition, she becomes ensnared in a cycle of unfulfilling short-term jobs, seeking solace in alcohol and online gambling. For Leo, the situation becomes increasingly strained. He reaches out, genuinely offering support as Maya grapples with her failures. A well-intentioned message, where he suggests therapy resources, is met with hostility. Instead of seeing understanding or kindness, Maya twists the narrative, publicly accusing him of being judgmental and unsupportive in their family messaging group. This betrayal cuts deeply, igniting years of pent-up frustration and emotional turmoil that Leo had tried to brush aside for the sake of family unity. Behind closed doors, Leo wrestles with feelings of betrayal and confusion. He had always believed that family should support one another, that unconditional love was a given. Yet, the reality he faces today is starkly different. While he is blossoming in his career, Maya's downward spiral thrums with a cacophony of their mother's misplaced worries and her enabling behaviors. The revelation of Maya's state sends yet again ripples of doubt through Leo's mind. Why is it that he feels the need to support Maya, yet she continues to disregard his successes, clinging to a narrative that upholds her as the firstborn success? Leo questions if love, as he has always understood it, truly exists in this family, or if it is merely conditional and tethered to achievements. Leo's journey toward independence is rife with complexities. Each step forward seems ensnared in the shadow of his sister's choices and their mother's biases. As he learns to stand tall, he realizes that embracing his creative voice requires a relinquishing of the emotional baggage tied to his sister's decisions and their mother's unwavering favoritism. What unfolds next will further test the family's already fragile dynamics, thrusting Leo into a situation where the bonds of blood will pit him against the very person he once sought support from, the sister he wanted to believe in. Leo's path will lead him to embrace a profound realization that sometimes breaking free from familial expectations is the only way to reclaim one's sense of worth and identity. Join us as we continue this emotional journey, exploring how paths diverge and converge amid the trials of love, betrayal, and ultimately self-discovery. Leo's ascent is just beginning, and the looming conflict will compel him to confront the truth of what family means in the shadow of deceit. As the days turn into months, Leo's hard work and dedication in the Digital Arts Academy begin to bear fruit. With each completed project, he embraces his creative voice, crafting animated designs that speak to the world. He feels a sense of empowerment he had long sought but had never truly claimed. This newfound confidence spills over into all aspects of his life, including relationships. Among the people who have supported Leo, Chloe, a talented landscape architect, stands out. Their romantic journey began 4 years ago in a shared photography group where mutual love for the arts forged a deep connection. Chloe's creativity matches Leo's, encouraging him to dream bigger and aspire higher. She is everything he did not know he needed: supportive, understanding, and grounded, embodying a refreshing contrast to the complexities enduring within his family. With every passing day, Leo becomes increasingly certain of his love for Chloe. He envisions a life built upon mutual respect and artistic expression, a sanctuary away from the chaos of his familial entanglements. On a quiet evening at Aunt Carol's home, surrounded by the warmth of laughter and camaraderie, Leo decides it is time to take the next step. As they share a simple but intimate dinner, he feels a blend of excitement and trepidation as he gets ready to propose. His heart races as he kneels on one knee, holding out a delicate ring that symbolizes their journey together. Chloe's eyes widen with joy and disbelief as she nods, tears spilling down her cheeks. In that moment, the world around them fades away, and it is as if time stands still, suspended in the weight of love and commitment. Aunt Carol and Eleanor watch on with proud smiles, the atmosphere pulsating with genuine happiness. Leo knows that he has found a partner who sees him for who he truly is, not as a lesser shadow in comparison to anyone else. But just as happiness seems to envelop Leo, an ominous cloud begins to loom over the festivities. Despite the joy of the engagement, a familiar voice whispers in the background, the voice of Maya. Having always been the center of attention and recognition, Maya's reaction to the news does not evoke the support Leo secretly yearns for. She arrives late to the dinner, a self-proclaimed whirlwind that shifts the focus back to her. A perfunctory congratulations escapes her lips, but it is devoid of warmth. The conversation quickly turns to her woes as she recounts her misfortunes in the startup world, framing herself as the victim of unfortunate circumstances. Leo cannot help but feel a distinct shift, the familiar pangs of disappointment settling in his heart once again. He realizes that his sister will always find a way to steer conversations back to her struggles, overshadowing his joy in the process. Later that evening, as Leo and Chloe retreat to his apartment, the ambiance that had felt so vibrant earlier now dims slightly. Chloe stays the night, their earlier joy still buzzing in the background, but punctured by an unseen tension that Leo could not fully grasp. It is then that Maya's insidious nature reveals itself in ways that Leo could hardly anticipate. The next morning brings with it a jarring twist of fate. Unbeknownst to Leo, Maya initiates a frantic messaging spree, targeting Chloe with a series of intrusive texts that prey on insecurities, undermining Leo's hard-earned confidence. While Leo showers, lost in the euphoria of newly formed promises, he remains completely unaware of the storm brewing in the shadows. Maya, wielding emotional manipulation like a weapon, sends Chloe an enticing invitation shrouded in false kinship, suggesting that she offers Chloe the sort of stability Leo's artistic pursuits cannot provide. Mistakes are made as Maya inadvertently sends a video clip meant for Chloe's eyes alone to a shared family photo album. In this brief moment, the emotional intensity escalates dramatically, colliding with the harrowing weight of betrayal. The clip reveals an intimate moment between Maya and Chloe, casting doubts on all that Leo believed to be true. When Leo confronts Chloe, the confrontation rattles his core. He presents her with the evidence, cold and irrefutable. The reality strikes him like lightning. The betrayal stings deeper than he could have ever expected, and as Chloe attempts to justify her actions, a sense of calmness avoids the rage that might have been expected. Instead, a chilling clarity encases Leo, and with stoic determination, he orders her to leave. This pivotal moment becomes a profound turning point in his life. Leo resolves to sever the bonds that have long restrained him, not merely from Chloe, but now against Maya's emotional manipulation. The quiet determination within him speaks louder than any of the emotional upheaval surrounding him. The silence that envelops his life, free from toxic influences, brings forth an unforeseen liberation. Unbeknownst to him, this unfolding drama serves as a double-edged sword. While it cuts through the fabric of trust and love he once believed was unbreakable, it also begins to strip the layers from his past. The stark reality of his family's dynamics throws into question everything he thought he knew about loyalty, support, and love. In the aftermath of the unfolding betrayal, Leo finds himself at a precipice. He senses a crucial choice looming ahead: aim for reconciliation with those who have hurt him, or embrace the independence he desperately craves. Join us in upcoming parts as the family unraveling intensifies, drawing Leo deeper into a conflict that will force him to demand accountability and navigate the treacherous waters of familial expectations. The journey ahead is fraught with challenges, but with each conflict, Leo inches closer to uncovering his true self amidst the shadows of deceit. As the echoes of betrayal linger in Leo's heart, he finds himself standing at a crossroads of emotion, entangled in a web of familial strife. The reality of his broken engagement with Chloe weighs heavily on him, while the insidious betrayal by Maya stirs a tempest of anger mixed with heartbreak. Yet, in this swirling chaos, Leo recognizes the need to confront the lies that have dictated his life for far too long. Determined not to handle this alone, Leo reaches out to Aunt Carol, the one family member he knows will offer him a clear perspective, unswayed by the dynamics that have plagued their family for years. Carol has always been a grounding force, providing not just financial support for his education, but also emotional sustenance. With every conversation, she has perceived the nuances that others have overlooked. Leo shares the painful truths of the events that unfolded. The video, the text messages, and the fresh wounds left by both Chloe's infidelity and Maya's duplicity. Aunt Carol listens intently, the condemnation towards Maya simmering just beneath the surface of her reserved demeanor. Recognizing the hurt in Leo's eyes, Carol asserts firmly, "You cannot let this go unaddressed, Leo. What Maya has done is unacceptable, and the only way for you to reclaim your power is to expose the truth." In that moment, Leo feels a stirring sense of affirmation. He is not alone in this fight. Together, they devise a plan. Rather than succumb to public shaming, Leo opts for a more composed strategy. He quietly compiles the incriminating evidence, screenshots and videos, and prepares to share them only with close family members who have a firm grasp of the situation. After careful deliberation, they approach a small circle of trusted family members, excluding Eleanor and Maya for the initial reveal. Leo understands that addressing the truth directly is essential for his emotional freedom, but he also wishes to maintain some semblance of dignity amidst the chaos. Through private calls, he lays bare the betrayal Maya committed, detailing the calculated manipulation that led to the heartbreak of his engagement. The responses from family members are quick and heavy with empathy. The collective outrage about Maya's actions echoes through the phone lines. What is particularly astonished by their reactions is the relief that fills Leo's spirit. For the first time, he feels validation, a recognition that his struggles, his pain, and his experiences have not gone unnoticed or dismissed. His illusion of being the lesser sibling begins to shatter piece by piece. However, the moment of triumph is short-lived. Eleanor's visit looms ominously ahead, marked by her unwavering loyalty to Maya. When Eleanor arrives at Leo's apartment, it is clear that she has no intention of offering comfort or understanding. Instead, she seeks to mediate, a term cloaked in concern but steeped in bias. "You need to mend this rift, Leo. It is not worth losing your sister over a few misunderstandings," she insists, her words thick with guilt-inducing undertones. Leo grapples with feelings of disbelief. How could she view this betrayal as a mere misunderstanding? Here was a pattern, a succession of offenses which had resulted in emotional scars far deeper than any familial quarrel. As Eleanor begins to justify Maya's actions, their financial struggles and her fragile emotional state, Leo's patience wears thin. For too long, Eleanor's blind favoritism has suffocated him. No more. With a firmness that surprises even him, Leo confronts his mother directly. He lays bare the instances from their childhood when Maya's misdeeds were brushed aside while his struggles were downplayed or ignored. "You cannot continue to excuse her behavior because it is easier for you, Mother. Would you have the same understanding if the roles were reversed? Would you encourage Maya to forgive me if I had betrayed her so deeply?" Each word strikes a chord in the air, echoing finality. Eleanor's eyes brim with tears, her expression a mix of hurt and stubbornness. "I love you both, Leo. I have just worried more about Maya because she is more sensitive," she pleads, but Leo sees through this facade. The admission only amplifies the realization that he has been sidelined in a lifetime of their family's narrative. The raw emotion spills out. The years of neglect, of enduring Maya's derisive laughter, the shadows of doubt and the false smile he has worn, all of it comes to a boiling point. "Enough," Leo declares, his heart racing with a cocktail of rage and liberation. "I am tired of living in her shadow, and I will no longer seek your approval over her self-serving desires. I deserve more than your conditional love, Mother." The silence that fills the room is thick with a profound weight, each moment heavy with realization. As Eleanor storms out, vowing not to associate with Leo until he sees reason, a quiet calm envelops him. In the wake of her departure, Leo understands that he has, for the first time, asserted his identity. Torn free from the emotional handcuffs Maya and Eleanor had wrapped around him for years. He recognizes that this confrontation marks a significant turning point, a pathway toward asserting his independence. With Aunt Carol's unwavering support beside him, Leo feels the walls of a suffocating narrative begin to crumble. No longer will he allow toxic influences to dictate his self-worth. He is determined to rebuild, not just his relationship with art, which had always been a source of solace, but his relationship with himself. In the coming days, he seeks solace in creativity, immersing himself in his artwork, crafting designs that reflect his journey toward resilience. What seems like an end becomes a blossoming beginning. It is here that Leo recommits to the passion that defines him, allowing art to serve as both the medium and the messenger of his healing. In the depths of turmoil, he finds an authentic resurgence of strength that propels him forward. In the next segment, Leo will confront the impending challenges that lie ahead as he works to redefine boundaries in relationships. Join us as we witness his evolution towards self-worth and the choices he will make, some painful, some enlightening, as he navigates the growing rift in his family while discovering true connections that genuinely uplift him. The journey is fraught with choices, reminders and lessons that will ultimately illuminate what family truly means to him. As the dust settles from the storm that has battered Leo's life, he finds himself standing at the precipice of change, a moment that signifies not just survival but a genuine rebirth. After the tumultuous revelations about his sister and the painful breakup with Chloe, an unexpected sense of clarity begins to dawn upon him. This is no longer just about exiting toxic relationships. It is about learning to embrace independence and establish authentic connections that truly align with his values. In the wake of the chaos, Leo intuitively knows he must shield himself from the toxicity that has long plagued his family dynamics, particularly the writings of Maya and the subtle favoritism exhibited by Eleanor. As he reflects on these relationships, he finds solace in Aunt Carol, who has always offered him unwavering support and insight. In a heartfelt conversation, she reassures him, "Your worth is not defined by your family's perceptions, Leo. It lies within you." Leo internalizes this wisdom, a seedling of empowerment sprouting amidst the desolate landscape of his former connections. He begins to understand that his self-worth should not depend on the approval of those who have consistently overlooked him. The journey to self-acceptance is often arduous, yet Leo knows it must be traversed with conscious intent. He gathers strength from his art, pouring his emotions into vivid graphics that seamlessly express his evolving identity. The digital canvases light up as he creates, reflecting both the pain of his past and the hope for his future. As days pass, Leo makes a pivotal decision. He allows himself the time and space to heal and grow. He immerses himself in a creative routine that invigorates his passion for digital art and animation, freeing him from the gravitational pull of negative energy that Maya, and to some extent, Eleanor had held over him. Leo embraces the power of community, reaching out to friends who genuinely appreciate him for who he is, not just the quiet sibling shadowed by brilliance, but the vibrant, unique artist he has always dreamed of becoming. As he reconnects with former classmates and fellow artists, he is met with open arms and understanding hearts. He shares his creations in an online forum dedicated to aspiring artists, eagerly absorbing feedback and finding inspiration in the work of others. This burgeoning network rekindles the flames of his creative spark, compelling him to participate in collaborative projects that expand his skill set. However, the winds of change do not merely blow in new connections, they also beckon old ones to transform. Leo realizes he must address his fractured relationship with Eleanor if he wishes to reclaim a sense of family, albeit on his terms. They agree to meet for coffee, a neutral ground to allow for honest dialogue. He approaches the conversation with both trepidation and hope, realizing Eleanor's approach to parenting stemmed from her own insecurities and fears. "Mother," he begins, his voice steady but filled with emotion, "I want to talk about how you treated Maya and me." He voices his long-held grievances, her tendency to dismiss his achievements while glorifying Maya's, and the years of struggling in silence, feeling inadequate and invisible. To his surprise, Eleanor listens, genuinely reflecting on her actions. I was always trying to protect you both, Leo. I thought Maya needed more guidance, she finally admits, her eyes brimming with tears. It is not an excuse, but a misguided attempt to balance our broken family. In that moment, Leo feels a crack in the long-standing walls of resentment they had built around their relationship. It is not forgiveness that he is offering, but rather an opportunity for mutual understanding, a chance to redefine what family means to them. They navigate the conversation down a path of possibility, discussing their respective needs and fears, finally acknowledging the unspoken hate that had been festering for years. As Leo leaves that cafe, he feels lighter, unburdened by the weight of familial expectations. He understands that while the wounds of betrayal may linger, the choice to move forward with an open heart resides solely within him. He embraces the notion that family is about more than blood. It is about mutual respect, understanding, and genuine connection. In the following weeks, Leo values the boundaries he has begun to establish, making conscious efforts to invest in friendships that elevate him. The healing power of art, combined with these newfound connections, empowers him to create freely and holistically. He submits his work to local galleries, gaining recognition and igniting his professional career in ways he never dared to dream. With each piece he crafts, the emotional palette of self-discovery spills onto the canvas, transforming past shadows into vibrant expressions of light. Leo understands that growth is not linear. There will still be hurdles, moments of doubt, but it is the pursuit of authenticity and independence that fuels him now. His heart swells with gratitude for Aunt Carol, who remains steadfast by his side through this journey. Leo appreciates her not only as family, but as a mentor and confidant. She constantly reminds him, "You are capable of achieving greatness, but it starts within and radiates outward." And so, Leo carves out a life filled with color and creativity, surrounded by a constellation of genuine connections. He learns to embrace the silence that follows the end of toxic relationships, a silence no longer filled with self-doubt, but rather with peace. Each day marks a step further into the light, away from the shadows of his past. As we close Leo's story, we are reminded that healing is a winding journey, laden with obstacles but also rife with opportunities for rebirth. Through confronting those who sought to dim his light, he found the strength to shine brighter than ever, a lesson in independence, growth, and the significance of nurturing authentic relationships. Thank you for joining us on this heartfelt journey through Leo's life. If you found value in Leo's story and the themes we explored, emotional betrayal, navigating familial relationships, and the power of embracing your true self, please hit the like button and consider subscribing for more thought-provoking content. Do not forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. What lessons resonate with you from Leo's experience? How do you navigate your personal relationships? I am eager to read your insights. As always, until next time, continue to embrace your journey of self-discovery and creativity. We will see you in the next video. Peace.